Hello and welcome. I'm David Kassnoff. Jocelyn Bain Hogg bristles when somebody says paparazzi, because in his remarkable books of candid photography, he showcases not the rich and famous, but how everyday people react to celebrities and to the nature of fame. In his photography, Jocelyn's explored Hollywood, Cannes, and the darker sides of London's crime culture. His 3 books, The Firm, Idols and Believers, and Pleasure Island, are all shot with Kodak Portrait UC and Tri-X films, using small handheld 35mm cameras. And he believes it's the unobtrusive film camera and taking time to study your surroundings that makes for really compelling photographs. So here now, a Kodak close-up with Jocelyn Bain Hogg.
That was, as is often the way, it was a magazine assignment, which was photographing a couple of geezers, we call them in the UK, a couple of likely lads, with a journalist who was dressed as in a trilby and a car coat. And we turned up on this assignment, and it was 2 very heavy mafia guys. And this was great. I just took the photographs and then got talking to the older one of the 2, whose son's an actor. Now my father's an actor, so we bonded over rather too many scotches in a nightclub in Soho in London. And he said, "Oh, show us the pictures." So I went back, showed him the pictures, and realised that I had access to a very private world. The British Mafia, the underworld. And one thing led to another. I pitched a story to a colleague who was working for Japanese GQ. So this sort of samurai journalist and I are kind of turning up, photographing the British underworld, and that was a 3-week assignment, and I just continued it. So 4 years later, the first book was born. So and the decision to shoot on Tri-X. I mean, at first I shot colour and black and white, but that world takes place at night. So black and white was just appropriate. It's like, as a photographer, you think, right, what's going to work? Which tools are going to work for this particular project, this assignment, this way of seeing? And I soon realised that it was Leicas, it was Tri-X, and a ring flash for the night shots. Because I don't think I saw daylight apart from being in Tenerife, and even then, daylight was a bit of a rare commodity. They lived by night. So again, in London, if you're photographing at night in colour, it can be a little limiting. But the black and white was just a better way of expressing who these people are. You're not distracted by anything else apart from the people, and that's what I love about black and white. As a photographer, I try not to have any preconceptions. I mean, certainly with The Firm, the adage, don't judge a book by its cover, kind of sticks in your head, because these are not nice people. They're not good people doing good things. Some of them are nice people, but they're doing bad things. But if you go in with that preconception, you're not going to get to talk to them or get close to them or bring something of their lives to everybody out there. It's the same with the Hollywood thing. The second project was not about celebrity. It was about the nature of fame. So it's looking at the way people react and interact with celebrity and celebrity culture. Yes, there are celebrities in that project, but the way I photograph them, they're part of a bigger story. They're part of a panoply. So in a way, Hollywood is brighter, but then you see things there that are just as dark as The Firm, the whole sort of publicist syndrome of selling somebody famous, the Big Brother thing, the fans. I mean, the guy in Idols and Believers who thinks he's Superman, and that's darker than any picture in The Firm. I mean, this man really does believe he's going to be the next Superman. The lesson from that I always think is important is intimacy in pictures. You've got to get close. You've got to respect the subject. Let them do the talking. You're just there to take their picture. Let them give of themselves. You respond to that. So whether it's Hollywood or Caesar's nightclub in Streatham in southeast London, it's the same. I've gone back to using Olympus OM4s because they're small, and I can have a small bag with 3 bodies and 5 lenses and a ring flash. It's tiny. And whereas the digital stuff is like, God, I need an osteopath. So plus, of course, people see you coming. The other beauty of using small cameras is that, I mean, again, photographing the chaps in the boxing, the underworld people, looking at that Olympus, it's like, what's that? Huh? You were using that? It's fantastic. It's a hidden weapon. And the Leica too, because unless you know what a Leica is, No one's going to take you seriously with a camera like that. It's great. Especially in these days of increasing privacy, security, police cameras everywhere. The public's wary of photographers, certainly where I come from in the UK. So the smaller the camera, the less offensive the weapon, the more I can do my work. So film actually, for me, is essential for that reason, if not its quality. It's a better way of approaching the subject. Well, that I started before the firm, and it was Princess Diana's funeral. It was an assignment I was given for a British magazine. And I remember standing there and hearing this silence, and millions of people across the world, but I don't know how many there were in the Mall in London that day, but it was packed, and silence. And there's this clip-clop coming from way back. And it was, the world believed they knew this woman. And it was a mass outpouring of sort of communal grief. And it just struck me that this is peculiar. This is what's going on here. This is fame, this is celebrity, this is something bizarre. And I mean, the book came out, Idols came out in 2006. I had no idea that in 2009 it would be bigger, this obsession with celebrity. And as it is, So that's when it started. So it was a 10-year project, really, or 9-year project. And it was complex, looking at the different aspects of what celebrity is, what is the nature of fame. That's what I wanted to look at, was what it is that we buy into, what is celebrity, what is fame. So that journey took a long time, and it necessitated in photographing in Cannes and Hollywood, the big explosions of celebrity culture, if you like, the public face of it. I wouldn't go in with a preconception. I caught that moment. I was standing in the crowds for the premiere of Shrek 2, I think it was. But there was a film crew on the other side of the car to me, and that's what caught my eye. It's like this crew sticking its camera in this, in this limo. So I did exactly the same from the other side, but I was lucky because the light just caught the person in the back. It's only one frame. And then when I looked at the contact sheets and saw that, it's something about her look, that isolation, that frostily staring forward. And I don't know Angelina Jolie, but I can imagine what she must be thinking as she drives through these, or is driven through these swathes of people, all of whom want a piece of her. And she's looking ahead. It's a strange sense of isolation in that picture. The thing that's interesting about Cannes is that it all happens on the streets. Yes, the publicists will make you believe that you've got to go and photograph whatever movie star in their lobby at their behest, and you have to make your appointments with them. I mean, I've photographed Cannes for many years, and notably when I was photographing for Le Monde, the French newspaper, I was in the Daily Picture, which is wonderful, one of my favourite assignments. They gave me carte blanche to photograph whatever I wanted each day over the 10-day festival, or 10 days of Cannes. And sure enough, I wanted to give an overview of it, so I had to do a bit of celebrity stuff there. And the nightmare of kind of getting publicists and letting you in, and oh dear. So in the end, I just found things. I found things on the streets. I just looked, and it's all in front of you. If you have eyes to see, the best pictures in Idols and Believers are the ones that are caught on the streets. The Angelina Jolie one. I was with her the night before in the Hotel du Cap having a drink where you can't take pictures, watching her chatting to Harvey Weinstein, and there's Antonio Banderas in the other corner. But actually, it's just people in a hotel room. I'm not a paparazzi. That doesn't interest me. And I couldn't take pictures anyway. It's illegal. But next day, in that limo, bang. One of the first things is you do not have to go far. You can take great pictures on your doorstep. I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm doing is in London, where I live. You don't have to go to Afghanistan to take great pictures. Look on your doorstep. And I think that's the first thing. And the second thing is get close. Respect the subject. Look at their lives. Let them tell the story. It's not necessarily about you, it's about them. Those two things I would say, intimacy and everything's available wherever you are. For me, it's the character. Using Leicas, using Olympuses, whatever. If I use Kodak, the UC400 is my favourite film. It has an identity that I adore it. I love it. It's rich without being oversaturated. It brings out the best skin tones that I can see. I love it. It's become my way of shooting colour. I don't want to shoot colour any other way. In fact, the last project, Pleasure Island, is all shot in Ibiza, and it's about rock and roll and how we try so hard to have fun. And that colour has just brought something extra. That film has brought something extra to that project. And you know, that's how the depth of film as well. It's undeniable that it's multi-layered. You've got a quality, the grain, everything that builds up to give it depth. That just doesn't happen on digital. It just doesn't. You know, you can go and get yourself a filter to turn it into Kodak UC. Well, whoopee-doo, why not use the real thing and scan it? You know, duh. Maybe it's the photographers I was influenced by, so I mean, look at Gary Winogrand and how complex his street theatre pictures are, and they're caught on the wing. And this is a guy who obsessively took pictures every day of his life, with a Leica, with a wide-angle lens, on the streets of New York. And you look at the corners, what's going on? What is that? What's this? Wow. And that stuck with me, I think. Tony Ray Jones, probably my ultimate hero. Young British photographer who died aged 30, who defined the English. And it's one of the first books I saw. I found a copy of it when I was a student for £1 in a market somewhere. It's like, whoa! And it was the complexity of his images, which are basically very simple to read, but this moment caught where everything is happening and they collude to form such a deep impression. And I think subconsciously I've always looked to try and bring that to bear, that sensibility of, you know, you don't have to be stupid to be a photographer. You know, it does require a modicum of intelligence, I think, to understand a situation and bring it out. And that's the language we use. It's all about language. Photography is as much of a language as, you know, as mathematics. It's understanding that language and conveying it to others.